these are 6 reasons why I believe that prospects do not call salespeople back from cold call voicemails. And the first one is that you're calling executives decision makers. They are extremely busy and they are most likely too busy to return your call. Another big reason is that the prospect is not interested. Not to say that they don't need what you sell or that you can't make them interested and that you can't sell to them. What I'm saying is if it's a cold call, they might not know who you are. They might not know what your business is. They're most likely not in buying mode for what you sell. So they are not interested yet. And if they're not interested, they're not going to spend their valuable time calling you back. I also believe that if you're calling at the higher levels of an organization, you most likely are calling someone that has some level of an ego. I'm not saying this in a negative way that all managers are narcissists and their head is out of whack with who they are. I'm just saying if someone is a business leader, they know that they are a leader, a manager of an organization, and you are a salesperson. And they will see it as your job to call them and not their job to return your calls. It's very likely that they will see it beneath them to call you back. And the next reason kind of falls in line with that, which is if the prospect gets a cold call from a salesperson, and let's say they do see a reason for them to talk to you or a reason for a conversation, they will assume that you're a salesperson and you're most likely going to call them back. So they may just wait for you to call them back instead of them writing down your number and trying to find a time to call you back. And it could be the case if we start to look at this in a more optimistic way. Let's just say in the best case scenario, the prospect hears your voicemail and says, that's interesting. I might need that. I kind of want to talk to that person. They may write down your phone number, put it on a pad of paper, but be so busy that they forget to call you back. They lose your number. Or it could just simply be the case that you leave a few voicemail messages and the prospect does not even listen to the voicemail. Maybe they deleted it without even listening to it, or they listen to very little of it. Now, if you look at those 6 reasons, you may say that's a bit of a negative mindset, but those are probably not too difficult to agree with. And if you agree with half or more than half of those, that can give us a pretty safe assumption that if we leave a voicemail message, there's a very low likely case that the prospect is going to call us back. One thing that I started to learn in my sales career is that when I first started leaving voicemail messages, I expected prospects to call me back. And so when they didn't call me back, I would be disappointed. And then I had a few cases where prospects returned my voicemail. And in all of those cases, I realized this person, when they called me back, it was almost a reason to disqualify the prospect. In other words, if I left a cold call voicemail for a prospect and they found the time to call me back, it was probably likely the case that they're not busy, meaning they're not high in the organization, they don't have any power, and it was like there was something wrong with them for them to call me back. So that's when I started to realize that there's just a very low probability that when you leave a voicemail message that a cold prospect is going to end up calling you back. It can happen, but if it's a safe assumption to assume that they don't, then we can build our game plan for how to use voicemail around that.